Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Raccoon Bytes. So this time we are gonna add the magic bits of OpenAI to our applications so we can generate these post-generated influencer tweets. So you need to have our command line application with dependency injection and login ready, and you need to have like an OpenAI like endpoint. So if you have not that, just check the previous videos. There are like ways to do it, either with an Azure subscription or just in local environment with an Ollama. So just check the videos, and if you are ready, just let's start it. So if you are using Azure OpenAI, you can see that we have like the Azure OpenAI services, and then you have like your deployments, right? So I will just use the mouse sandbox, and in model deployments, you can manage your deployments. This will open an OpenAI Studio. And this is important, the deployment name, right? We are gonna need the deployment name. You're gonna need the endpoint and the keys. So the keys, you can copy those from here, and let's just get started. So we are gonna go to our application, and I will open my Visual Studio Code. So the first thing is make sure that we are using Semantic Kernel. So we're gonna add Semantic Kernel here. So Semantic Kernel is a wrapper, as I said on the intro video, for the OpenAI. So it provides a lot of nice things. We are gonna explore some of them here. And then we are gonna go to our services, and then we are gonna add a new service. So this time it's gonna be a singleton, and this singleton will be our object connection to the OpenAI. So this will require like using the builder from Semantic Kernel. This kernel object comes from Semantic Kernel, and we are gonna add our Azure OpenAI chat completion. So we are gonna use environment variables for all this configuration, and then at the end we just return the build. So the singleton will have a kernel available. So there are many ways to do it for to configure this. You can of course have here hard-coded the values. You can use app settings, you can use YAML files, JSON files. There are many ways to do it. We can also add like a configuration service, so you can use all of that if that's available. But the most simple one is environment variables, and it is simple and also is secure in the sense that you don't make the mistake to commit and push to the repo those values. You are forced to always set these values in the environment. So that's nice. So you can even add these variables as parameters of our system command line, as we previously saw. So feel free to modify and play with that. Now let's start adding the OpenAI. For that, we're gonna create a new class. So I will add here a new class, and this is gonna be a post generator service. You can call it like a skill or plugin. That's how I have heard of this in different libraries. But in this case, it's the post generator. It's gonna be in this namespace, post generator. So this is one of our like core namespaces, or first core namespaces, and then we are gonna add the service. So the service is gonna be a public class, and then let's declare the constructor. So this generator service will receive two things. The first thing is the semantic kernel. So the kernel again is like the connection to the OpenAI. And the second thing is the function, right? So the function, it's let's say it's the prompt. So it's gonna be the definition of the prompt for generating the post. So we are gonna set this in like local variables, right? So we are gonna have the kernel and the prompt function, and then we can just declare those things, the prompt function, and then the kernel. I like it like this, but we can use something that in Net 8.0 it's called like the primary constructors. We can put that here, but just for simplification purposes, I will put it like this. And then just let's create a method. This is gonna be an async method. That means that is gonna return a task in TypeScript. It's called like a promise, and then we are gonna call this method generate post, and it's gonna return a string, which means that it can return like the generated post. with this, we're gonna say that this may be null or not, and then we are gonna receive 3 parameters: persona, topic, and style, right? And then this was auto-generated, but there is something in semantic kernel that is called context. In this case, the arguments that we're gonna send to our prompt. In this case, it's gonna be persona, and this is a dictionary. So this is a dictionary, and we are gonna add this as a topic. And then the persona and the style, right? So we have now our context. And then we are gonna invoke our prompt. So in this case is our prompt function. We are gonna invoke it with the context. And we also need to pass the kernel. This is the kernel and the context. And that's gonna be our result. Our result can or not be a string, but in this case we are gonna return a string. And we are gonna add this in case that this is null. And that's it. This is our post generated service. This should work. Now let's declare our prompts. Semantic kernel provides a very nice way to provide the prompts. So you can just use files, text files, and we are going to create this directory for prompts, and then we are going to create one directory for our first prompt. In this case, we are going to put a file that is called skprompt, semantic kernel prompt. And then inside we're gonna put our prompt. So our prompt can be something like this: generate a short tweet, ready to be published, giving a writing style, persona, and topic. I'm putting ready to be published because sometimes, like, you know, OpenAI or ChatGPT returns something like, oh yeah, sure, this is what you want, but I don't want that, I just want the post. And then you should include hashtags at the end. And then I'm gonna add the 3 parameters: style, persona, and topic. You can see this custom way to include the parameters, like the variables, style, persona, topic, and this should match these ones: topic, persona, style on the context. So, and that's the generate post. And then the second one is gonna be the config file. So the config file is a config that tells semantic kernel how to do this. So it's going to be a type completion, and then you can add things like the max number of tokens and other kind of stuff. Right now we are not using like the most advanced features of semantic kernel, but it's good to start putting this here. So I will add a link for like the schema and everything, so you can just play and do something more advanced. And now we have the service, we have the prompt, and then let's go to our program, and we are gonna add that service that we just created. So now it makes sense that it's called configure services. Before it looks like weird, but now it's gonna be better. So it's gonna be a singleton. Again, I am receiving the service provider here. So in case that I want to use, for example, the kernel, that I want to take the kernel, and I am actually getting that requires a kernel, and then I am initializing the kernel functions from this directory, prompts. So this is gonna do magic and will read everything that is inside prompts, and per each directory, it will just return an array, like a dictionary for that prompt. And then I will initialize our post generator service. I will add the kernel that I am just grabbing from our previous singleton. So it's important that this is after this one. So this actually gets there. And then here I'm accessing the generate post that is from here, from these prompts. Of course, you can make this configurable. This is something that is called magic strings. So you can make a constant or a variable or even like something else. So that's a good practice, like not having magic strings, or at least have like a constant that you can just modify from all in all the programs. For now, we are gonna leave it here, and then we need to modify our handler. So let's go to our handler here, and then remember that we have like this not implemented exception. Now we are gonna implement this. So now for this, we are gonna use the post generator, and I'm gonna get this service that I just declared here on my services. So I will get the required service, and then I will just generate the post using the persona and topic and option. Yeah, and then I'm gonna use my logger to log the information of such post. So I am gonna get the result, and I'm just gonna throw it in the command line. So this should work. Let's see if that's true. So we go here, and let's just first do a .NET runs to see if it actually compiles, because I am doing a lot of code changes. Yeah, so kernel is a type, but it's used as a variable. Generate service live 13. Yeah, of course. So I just use like the autocomplete, but it should not. Just fixing that, and let's try again. Right, so post generated service cannot be found. Yeah, remember that we created this namespace, so we need to use that namespace here. And yeah, let's do it. All right. Oh yeah. So, and the last thing is, remember that this is now on asynchronous. So this is a promise. So we are gonna await this call, but that means that this method, that is a lambda method, I explained that in the first episode, needs to be asynchronous as well. So I think that's the last issue that we have. Let's see. Tick tick tick. Yeah, cool. So it compiled. So let's just run create post. Remember that we need to pass this. Cool. Now let's just do the persona. So persona raccoon, you said that, and it was nice. So about, let's say garbage collection, and then style sarcastic. Let's just do it. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so see, just saw the garbage truck pass by. Cool. So now, I mean, we can also, I think it doesn't understood my joke about garbage collection. So let's just put something like, I want to create about YouTube video about OpenAI. Okay. This is something that I will post. I promise, whatever that happens here, I will post it in the LinkedIn or in YouTube. So, right, just spotted the newest OpenAI video. I don't think this is cool, but anyway, I made a promise, so I will just post it. Yeah, so that's it. Now we have our generated post with Semantic Kernel. So in the next videos, we are gonna start doing more complex stuff. We are gonna refactor, we are gonna add responsible AI, evaluation of our LLMs, apps, and more fun stuff. So just subscribe and see you later.